Social cognitive perspective. The emphasis is on conscious awareness, beliefs, expectations, and goals. Okay, social cognitive. Social, think about those. Social and cognitive. Cognitive, your thoughts, right? Thought processes, and dealing with social society, socializing. Incorporates principles from behaviorism. They explore ability to reason, think about the past, present, and future, and reflecting on yourself. Bandura's social cognitive theory. Know this term, reciprocal determinism, basically is saying there's an interaction, which means there is an effect between your behavior, the environment that you live in, and the person or the cognitive factors that create your personality. So the way that you behave, the environmental situation, we all live in a different environment. Even within Chester County, right, we have a certain environment. You have it in Westchester, you have it within your neighborhood, you have it within your home, the environment that you live in. And then you can go larger, the state of Pennsylvania, the United States, East Coast United States versus West Coast United States, all these things, this is your environment that can affect your personality. The key processes and variables with regard to Bandura's social cognitive theory: observational learning, basically, seeing what others are doing, and you learn by observation. And then with regard to that, you have personal control, internal locus of control versus external, whether it's internally driven versus externally driven, driven from yourself or driven from others. And then self-efficacy. You will need to know this term, not just for this class, in several and multiple classes, at least the ones that I teach. We always talk about some form of self-efficacy, so you should know this term from here on out. This is your belief that you can master a situation and produce positive change. Basically, your belief in your ability to be successful at something. Blank. Fill in the blank. Could be math, could be English, could be sports of some sort, could be baseball, basketball, softball. Your belief in your ability to be successful. Okay, so we have self-efficacy in a lot of different areas. Mischel's contributions. Mischel, the critique of consistency in behavior. No evidence of cross-situational consistency, that it happens over, that it's consistent over multiple situations. Personality is consistent. He says situationalism, important personality behavior vary from one context to another. So in a classroom setting, you could be very good student and sit there and pay attention and behave, but when you are out in the town, partying, having fun, you could be one of those wild, crazy people doing all kinds of things. So basically saying that your personality is situation specific. CAPS theory, which is cognitive affective processing system. Thoughts and emotions about the self and the world affect your behavior. So here we're talking about your thoughts and your emotions. You are taking them into consideration, and it's not just about yourself. It's not just personally, but you're thinking about what's the larger impact of the environment in the world, that this affects your behavior. So basically it's like, what am I doing, and is this making a positive impact on myself and on others? This is concerned with this CAPS theory, concerned with how personality works. All right, so evaluating social cognitive perspectives focuses on interactions of the person with the environment. Okay, so now it's dealing with you and your environment. Highlights observation of behavior. Okay, so it's dealing with behavior and observing behavior of others, and emphasizes influence on cognitive processes, things, dealing with your thought processes. Criticisms of social cognitive perspective, slide 40. Concern with change in situational influences, too concerned with that. Ignores the role of biology in personality, basically like genetics. It's ignoring your genetic component. And it makes generalizations impossible. So it's, and the criticism is that it's just too too general, and it's not good. Going to the biological perspective here, Hippocrates, this is very interesting, and I'm going to read that smaller print because I find it very interesting and weird. Okay. Personality is based on bodily fluids, otherwise known as humors. Okay, it's not the humor that we're talking about, funny, haha, humors. Personality is based on bodily fluids. For Hippocrates, a sanguine personality was a happy, optimistic individual who happened to have an abundance of blood. Means you have more blood than the average person. A choleric person was quick-tempered and with too much yellow bile. Okay, getting a little gross there. And a phlegmatic personality referred to a placid, sluggish individual with too much phlegm, mucus, sorry, and a melancholic, pessimistic had too much black bile. Okay, so now I know what you all are going to do next time. Well, I'm not even going to get into it. All right, Freud. Connection between the mind and body. Did not believe there was much of a connection between the mind and body. Alport. Traits as neuropsychic, personality as psychophysical. Okay, psychophysical, dealing with the mind and the body. Murray said no brain, no personality. No brain, no personality. Eysenk's RAS theory, reticular activating system, located in the brain stem, plays a role in our wakefulness or arousal. This is interesting stuff. You may want to pay extra attention to this. Could describe who you are. Of course, this is a theory. We all share an optimal arousal level. We all have, you know, there's some people that are very upbeat, very have lots of energy and enthusiasm and zest, and some people who are a little bit lower keyed. It's all an arousal level, but we all have a different level. And what Eysenk's saying is we all have our own optimal arousal level. The RAS, the reticular activating system of extroverts and introverts, may differ in baseline levels of arousal, is what he's saying here. So we all have a baseline, but it's different for an extrovert and an introvert. Gray's reinforcement sensitivity, the behavior approach system, says that we are sensitive to rewards, predisposition to positive emotion, and underlies extroversion. Okay? The behavioral inhibition system, sensitive to punishers, predisposition to fear, and underlies neuroticism. So if you have the BAS, your top part, behavioral inhibition system, you will act more to avoid punishment, to avoid fear, and to that you're quite neurotic. Sorry. The other one, first one, you will react towards receiving rewards and experiencing positive emotions. I did want to say one more thing about this. Basically, it's saying here, Eysenck is saying that the person who is tired in the morning, who has low levels of energy in the morning, will typically be an extroverted person, and the person who is more of a morning person is more of an introverted person. And it's kind of balancing out your system there. The high energy during the extroversion during the day, like when you get up in the morning, it's kind of balancing it out because you're a slow starter and that type of stuff. And then you have more energy and more more extroversion as the day goes on, whereas introverts are more alert and attentive and being able to function in the morning, but that kind of goes not away, but you're not as outgoing as the day goes on. Okay, slide 44, almost done, y'all. Dopamine. Dopamine is very important. Function and experience of reward factors in BAS, the behavioral approach system, or extroversion. Dopamine, when we have high levels of dopamine, we have positive things going on, positive experiences, positive emotions going on. This is elevated when we exercise. We get increased dopamine going through our brain. It also helps us function and think later on in life, and our dopamine levels tend to reduce as we age, and that's why some of our cognition is reduced as we age also. Serotonin is related to neuroticism. Less serotonin that you have in your body, more negative mood. Again, if you exercise, you do increase your serotonin levels, and it can increase your mood. Also, when people are depressed, they have medications that they take, SSRIs, are dealing with serotonin and adding serotonin to their body, so it takes them from the negative mood to a more baseline mood. Inhibition of serotonin reuptake decreases the negative mood, enhances feelings of sociability, like I was saying with the medication. Does not tell us about potential causal pathways, so it doesn't tell us the causes of things. This is dealing with the neurotransmitters. Role of neurotransmitters. Doesn't tell us the potential causes of the pathways. Behavior genetics, study of inherited underpinnings of behavioral characteristics. Okay, dealing with our genetic component of our personality. Twin studies, basically when they study twins that are separated at birth and may move to different environments, may be adopted, and one goes to one type of environment, one goes to another type of environment, but they still keep track of them for these test purposes. It says that genetic factors explain the differences in Big Five traits. So going back to that acronym OCEAN, right? That there is a genetic component. 2, the way that we are more extroverted, introverted, neurotic, not neurotic, that type of stuff. And autobiographical memories are influenced by the genetics. So the way that we think about our past and we can remember our past is influenced by our genetics. Role of genetic factors is enormously complex. You can take a whole class on that if you'd like. Genes and the environments are intertwined. So so our genes, the environment that we live in, again, going with nature and nurture, right? Intertwined. And traits, they have found, are actually influenced by multiple genes. It's not just one gene that influences your traits. Multiple genes are influencing them. Again, with the biological perspective, tie personality to animal learning models. They've looked at animals over the years, and the models that they've seen the animals change and go through these different things, basically tying them to our human development. There are advances in brain imaging that can show the biological component, and then it deals with the evolutionary theory, which we're not going to get into. Some cautions about the biological perspective. Biology can be effect, not the cause of our personality. So they're saying it can be the effect of our personality, not the cause. And issues of whether personality can change throughout life, which, for the most part, we know that our personality can develop and can change. So that's that. All right, let me see. Chapter 10. Do we have anything on Chapter 10 here for you all? Activity-wise, if you decided that you wanted to do some extra activity, let me see. Hold on. Chapter 10, yes. There's a handout here for Chapter 10 for id, ego, and superego. 3 examples. They give you a little situation there, and you tell me what the id might be saying if that was in control, what the id might want you to do if that is in control, what the superego may want or desire if that was in control, and how the ego would balance that out. So you go through the examples there. Again, this is all on your own. If you want to do it, it helps you out. It will help you out with the test because you'll see examples like this on the test. And then, of course, you can click on the answers and see what you got right and all that type of stuff. All right, good job. Have a great day.